What's up guys, MeTime Gamer here with part 3 of a scripting tutorial for Arma 3 server. Today what I'm going to be showing you is going to be showing you how to set up loadouts. I'm going to show you two ways that I found to be some of the easiest. So as you can see, the guy we put in in the first tutorial is just wearing pretty basic range master clothing. He doesn't have anything special on him. And basically he always has that kind of thing on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pause it and we're going to move over to scripting right away. Alright, so the scripting we're going to use, I'm going to load up a document that I have saved. Basically this is what I have here. So this basically would be the basic template. In this case, this is a loadout I made for my other mission called Loadout _DOC_4 Sergeant. So this is a Sergeant's loadout. So basically, the way this works is what I suggest to do is always they don't need to be in the file in the mission folder itself. This is just a template I save in a separate folder so I can copy paste it if ever I need it. So basically, the template goes as like this. So at first here, the first block we have here, we'll remove everything the player has. So remove all weapons, remove all assigned items, remove uniform, remove vest, and remove backpack. This defines that when we put it in the player's initialization field, we'll remove to that player. So the way it works here is to add items, we're gonna need basically all these coding. So basically, the way it works, if I remember correctly, here we have this add backpack, and we add a specific backpack. Now I won't go. These are all class names. Everything between the brackets are all class names for each item that identifies them. I won't go over them. I'll just post. In the tutorial, I'll also show you how to find a couple ways to find these. So the first thing, I'll just keep going. So to add a backpack, this add backpack, and in this case I'm using a CG Invisa backpack. So basically, it will not show on the player that I'm wearing a backpack. Next one, DOC vest strength tan fix. Fix basically that just means it was fixed in a later update. So basically that's gonna add the vest. This is gonna add a hat, add headgear, and this add goggle. So basically, as you can see, the basic ones, G is for goggles. Usually headgear starts with an H, vest starts with a V, backpack starts with a B, and so that's it for some of the what I think they usually call them vehicle gear or cargo gear. Where this is where stuff is going to be stored. You want to put these first because the next stuff we're going to load our players with, this is what he's gonna. If I remember, the order you put them in is the order they're gonna fill up. So you got your backpack and your vest. So basically, like every coding, it reads from top to bottom. I think all of them pretty much do. Now here, as you can see, I'm putting the weapon I'm using here is an M4RIS. So, but as you can see, is I load the ammo before. The reason why this I'm doing this is because when I load the ammo before and then I load the gun, it's actually gonna load a mag into the gun instead of if I put it before, I'm gonna have to reload the gun before I start. So now what I did here, I found the right mag, and I added 5 of them. So you have to copy paste. You cannot do like this one and put a number. It doesn't work for initialization field. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna copy paste it multiple times that you want. So basically here after that is I added to this weapon, the weapon itself, add weapon, and then I added primary weapon items. So I added a flashlight and I added a scope. So then after that we have another weapon. This is gonna be our secondary weapon. There's no definition between primary and secondary. It just knows which one it is, of course. So basically here I'm adding a secondary weapon, a taser. Of course I load the mags before for it. This is just a basic loadout for a police officer or a correctional officer. I loaded this. Alright, so here at the bottom, after our taser, we have items. So here we have ItemCompass, GPS, map, watch. So basically these are basic items. So if they're not weapons, that are not magazines, that do not fit in those classes, they will be items basically. Or if they're not uniform either. So basically they will be added here. And also you can have item radio, which will add the base radio for that. Arma base radio. So also what we have here is the items, if they're assignable, you have to assign them compared to the weapons which they automatically assign themselves. So here we're going to assign every item. And then at the end we have the uniform. The reason being why we put the uniform at the end is because we don't want every other item, like in this case the mags and the first aid kit, to be put in our uniform first. We want it to be put in the backpack. So we put the backpack first and it's going to load it in order. Backpack, vest, then it's not going to put anything in the uniform because it's at the end. So what I'm going to do now is I will be copying this. And we will be going back in game. Alright, so we're back in our editor. We're going to go to our character here. And what we're going to do is we're going to double click on it. Alright, so we just copied paste from the document what we took, what I showed you earlier. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the initialization file right here. So basically that's going to remove everything that he has, and basically, just give me a second. Basically we're just going to copy paste, put it in the initialization field. So see, everything is there, and we're going to press OK. Alright, if there's no mistake, it's not going to show you that there's a mistake. So then we're going to save it. And now we're going to go see it in game. Alright, so we're going to load into game. For demo's sake, I put respawn on start to 0, and you'll see why in a couple of seconds. So basically, it's not going to give me the respawn menu at the beginning. And as you can see, it gave me the loadout that I put in the definition. M4, scope, and a flashlight beside it. You can see nothing is in our uniform. It's in the vest. And it loaded every little item that I put in there. Alright, now one thing that happens with this, which is kind of a bit of a bummer, this type is good if you only do like in missions where if the player dies when it's over. But what happens if I press restart? I die, respawn, I die, and the problem here is it doesn't respawn me with the loadout. Alright, so in this case, I'll show you another way of putting a loadout. Alright, so right now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you a second way with a loadout menu, which is going to show up at the same time as our respawn menu. So I will see you on the text file. Alright, so I open our description, our init. So basically what we'll do, we'll scroll down, we'll go at the bottom, and for here, we're going to add in our respawn template west, we will add in our respawn template west. This works for all of them. We'll add like this, and we'll do menu inventory. So this, what we'll do is it will pop out an inventory, show a menu inventory like our menu position. After our respawn template west and our menu and position file, we'll go down a couple, and what we'll do is we'll add our basically the loadouts we want in this format. So basically we're going to go down, just going to copy paste from another file, in this bracket right here, just partially took from another, not the full one. So basically here, basically after we're going to put class CfG for configure respawn inventory. So this is basically what it's going to do. It's going to call out our inventory for our loadouts. So the way we open, we put a bracket, open it up, Alright, so basically what we'll be doing now is creating our classes. So right now I copy pasted 4 different classes. Right, you can customize all 4 of them. So first what you'll do is class 1. Now this variable right here, this at the beginning, you can name it whatever you want. In this case, since it's for DOC or Department of Correction, where what I'm setting it up for, I named it DOC. To be less confusing, you can set up as you can put it West or East, or GUER for independent, or Civ for civilian class, depending on what you're doing, or you can do whatever you want. Then the first thing you'll put in is display name. So basically the display name is what shows up on the menu. So here I deleted another line, but I'll show you on the bottom here. You can put it an icon, so the icon basically shows up right beside the name. Shows up the icon. In this case it's a private tag. So I'll go here. Then after that you start putting open up brackets, sorry, you put that in, and then from here you start putting weapons, magazine, item, linked item. So basically in this case you put items, but you don't have to, instead of putting like add other items and then linking them after like the other thing, you immediately put link item and then you add it after. Alright? And then after that, once you're done the weapon, the mag, the item, you can put the uniform and the backpack, and then you close the bracket. I'll try to post I'll post this in the description, just the basic one. And then of course I have 4 classes like that. I will save this, close this, and then we're gonna go into our init file. I'm gonna copy paste from the other file, so this goes a little faster. Alright, so we're gonna put this in. So basically we're gonna call up the function that we in their description that we defined. So basically between the quotation, this is what we named on the description file, and this assigns it to whatever group you want. West being blue 4, East op 4. I think if I remember correctly, for independent you can either put independent or resistance, and for civilian you put civilian, the whole word. And then we will save that, and now we'll go in game and see what it gives. Alright, now do keep in mind, and just so it goes better, is I put the respawn on start to 1 again, so I reactivated it. But this should work. Alright, so now we have our loadouts. We have 4 loadouts, correctionals, and we also have random if you wanted to select it for you. Now as you can see, it started with the loadout menu, but if you click here, you have your respawn menu, so you can choose from both menu when you want. And then you press respawn. See, MP5 with a beret, and it looks pretty good, and it works pretty good. So if I try to hit respawn, I think if I do it personally, it won't work. For me, I have to actually die for it to work. As you can see, it loads up for 2 seconds and then it stops. I think I actually have to get killed by something else or somebody else for it to allow me to get the respawn menu. So what we'll do now is I will explain to you where to find those class names where I explained a bit earlier. There's a couple ways of doing that, so we'll get right on that. So we will be going into our editor. You can go on the website, which I'll post the link. They have their base assets that you can find, or in your here you can go into config viewer. Alright, so in config viewer it opens up this, so every configuration file, and right here we have bookmarks. I added the ones in white I added, but usually you should have vehicle and weapons, which we're gonna need. But we also need magazine, ammo, and glasses. So what we'll do is we'll go to weapon, because that's the really basic one. I'll just to show you guys, because this one. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go find the code you want. So this might be time consuming because you have to go through a list. So I clicked on it. It's gonna be a little down, and as you can see, it loads me lists. So the name you see here are the names you're going to use. So A3L Makarov, these are all guns. So, but in the weapon section, you're going to have to look, because sometimes, like, even in the weapon section, it also gives you suits. So yeah, you really have to check, because what happens here is you, like here, like I have vests in weapons, you can see. So one thing you have to simplify your life is if you're putting weapons in, like we have the DMR here. So it gives you a little lower, it gives you the display name. So if you're trying to find for a specific item, you can look for its name. But what's nice is when you click on the weapon, you can go down and go into magazine, and it's going to give you the magazine class name. So this way, at least you get 2 birds with 1 stone. It's going to be a bit easier for you. So that's one way of finding class names. Like I said, there's the website, but then there's another way. For this, I'll be going into Virtual Arsenal. To go Virtual Arsenal, I'll show you. So basically, if you don't know where it is, it's in Learn and Virtual Arsenal. What's going to be nice too is in a later tutorial, I'll show you how to actually implement Virtual Arsenal inside your mission file, so you get access to every gun and accessories you want. So we go here. Basically, if you haven't been here, this lets you with choosing. You can choose anything you want. Let's say I take an AAC Honey Badger, ACOG. So sometimes you have to like switch the classes for it, the things for it to work. Set flashlight. And there's no bipod. You can set a handgun. Oh, I'll just go quickly here. Whatever, that's good. Put my fire hat. And we're gonna put a jeez. So here, what you're gonna do, you're gonna do export. So as you can see here, it says data copied to clipboard. So now we're gonna move over to our file. We're just gonna use this as a template, and you're gonna do paste. As you can see here, it pretty much does the same exact thing. Pretty much does the exact same thing as what we did to our initialization field. So basically, you have uniform, add item to uniform. Oh, you can also define to add item to a certain aspect. I didn't know that. So here, we get every name that you would like. Attachments, VG goggles, and it also gives you gives you the face. I guess you can put that to in the initialization file, and it's gonna set that for you too. So that's it for the loadout menu. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. You can also subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next tutorial video.